comment really was some students just don't do well at school. Sometimes they have difficulty testing, or maybe the curriculum doesn't quite match up with their learning style. And that is, that's very normal. So we still need to focus on those primary factors to make sure that, they're still going to be in an academic setting at university. That's not going to change. So we still need to focus on those primary factors. However, we do have a holistic view of a student's application. So not only do we look at those primary factors, the grades, the TOEFL or IELTS exam, but we also look at those supporting factors. The statement of purpose, how active you've been, have you done volunteer experience or been parts of clubs or sports. So like I said, we're looking for students not only to be in a classroom setting, although that's a big part of university, but we're also looking for students who have various interests and will contribute in a number of different ways inside as well as outside the classroom. So I think an entire other presentation could be made on different admissions requirements for universities. So I won't necessarily dive into that subject, but I can chat with everyone after that, or after the presentation. So, did I answer your question? Okay. Any other questions? I'll open it up. Okay. So, next suggestion is proofread, 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 proofread some more. So, not only are you going to write it, you need to go over it and make sure that everything is correct. Give it to your friend to read, give it to a teacher to read, give it to your parents to read. Make sure that all of the, anything that's incorrect needs to be corrected before you submit it. So, here's where we get a little interactive. So like I mentioned before, I'm going to be asking for your help. So, I have some examples of sentences with a couple problems in them. So I'm going to ask you how to correct them. So, and I will say they get progressively harder. So, first sentence, after I graduate from high school, I plan to work for a nonprofit organization.
Spelling form.
You got it. So, form is an English word, so even if you use spell check, it's not going to come up. So, that is, you're absolutely correct, and I heard a number of other people in the background say the same correct answer. Form needs to be from high school. Second one, from that day on, Daniel was my best friend. Yeah, not your best friend, maybe your best friend. Yeah, so that is another example of maybe a typing mistake or maybe an autocorrect that is not entirely correct. So again, proofreading would hopefully catch that mistake, even if spell check doesn't. Third, it finally occurred to me that there was a shark in the water. There, it's the wrong there. There. Which is the correct there? T-H-E-R-E. I want to immerse myself in the language. Emerge? Not emerge.
Emerge. E-I-M, not
I think people are kind of dancing around it, but not entirely correct yet. So, emerge means to come out of. What word are we looking for to go into? Immerse. Right. So I want to immerse myself in the language. Not emerge, come out of, but I want to go deeper into the language. I want to immerse myself in the language. And this is the toughest one. So I'm going to be very impressed if you guys can get it correct, because some of my American friends didn't know how to correct this. So last, I spoke with the person that wrote the email. So I heard one correct. Who? I am so impressed. More than one person answered that correctly. So I spoke with the person who wrote the email. It's a thing that, but a person who does something. Very good. I am pretty impressed. So, what should you include in your personal statement? Leadership experience, work or volunteer experience, skills you possess or have developed. So this is kind of an interesting thing. So skills that you already have that might set you apart from other people, or have developed. Maybe you were not a good public speaker a couple years ago, but you've voluntarily taken on leadership positions where you had to speak in front of a crowd, like right now. Or maybe you had trouble testing, but you went to a tutor and you developed those skills, you developed test strategies, and now you are a better test taker than you were before. So we want to see that you have developed skills over time. You have improved yourself. Challenges you have overcome, especially if this impacts your academic performance. So I know we receive a number of applicants who say, there's this one class that I didn't do well in, or one semester where I was having a very difficult time. Maybe it was a family issue, perhaps a medical issue. You can add that to your personal statement, and it will give us a better idea of, if we see you've had great grades, except for that one semester, it's going to give us an explanation. And that will go a very long way to determining how we view your overall transcript. Your long-term goals and plans, especially if they relate to the program that you're studying. Why you want to attend the university or study your particular program, and why you should be selected. So, how will you be a successful student? What will you contribute to the campus community? And what makes you interesting or unique? And these very much can be influenced by these items above. So, now, what to avoid? Addressing a different university, like I mentioned before. Slow introductions. So, many years ago, I had a dog named Lucy. That's not necessarily going to grab our attention. So try to give us in the first paragraph, or maybe the first couple sentences, something that makes us think, that makes us wonder more about you. Recapping your whole life story. We don't need to know everything. We just want to know the important parts. So what makes you who you are? So, lying and plagiarism. I put these two because if we admit students who lied or plagiarized, at the end of our application, you sign off and say that everything in your application is true. So if we find out later that you lied or plagiarized, we can actually dismiss you from our university. So it's very, very important that you're honest and truthful, and you use your own unique work in your personal statement. So, does anyone know what plagiarism is? Yeah, copying. Yeah, it's using someone else's work as if it were yours. So, for example, taking a sentence or two from a magazine article or a news article or a story or a research article, or maybe someone else's personal statement, which we have seen before. We've seen multiple personal statements with the same lines in them. That is plagiarism, using someone else's work and calling it your own. So both of these can have you removed from the university. Negativity. So having a difficult experience in life is not necessarily a bad thing. Everyone goes through difficult situations, but dwelling on those bad situations is not what we're looking for. What we're looking for is, if you are writing about a negative situation, how did you make it positive? How did you grow from that? What did you take away from that experience? Vagueness. So something very general. We want specific information. So if you write about, I really enjoyed studying in school. Okay, what I want to know is, what did you enjoy studying? What subjects? What really spoke to you? Was there a novel that you read that was really interesting to you? Just saying that you enjoy studying doesn't really give us much information. We're looking for more. And cliches. Cliches are overused statements. So, although there might be some truth to them, again, they're not unique. We're looking for your words. So a cliche, an example would be like the Forrest Gump movie. So life is like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're going to get. You know that phrase? Yeah, some people might. You guys are a little young. But cliches are overused phrases. So yeah, I think that's it's a good sentiment. Life is like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're going to get. But it's not unique. We want to hear what you have to say and not rely on words that have been used thousands and thousands, maybe millions of times. And sentences that don't contribute to the purpose of your statement. Like I mentioned, we're looking for 1 to 2 pages. Anything additional that doesn't contribute to what you want to say can be left out. So I have some examples. The top is an okay example, and the second is maybe something that's a little bit better. So again, I'm going to be asking for your feedback on what makes the second statement better. So I'll read both of them. I want to help people. I've gotten so much out of life through the love and guidance of my family. I feel that many individuals have not been as fortunate. Therefore, I would like to improve the lives of others. A better statement is, my experience in Key Club has changed my life. In the past 3 years, I have served hot meals at my local church. I have seen grown men and women at the lowest point in their lives, happy just for a plate of rice and beans. I ask the question, why are there such poor people in the United States? Why do societies tolerate such hunger, not just here, but all over the world? I do not have an answer, but I am compelled to continue to serve. Why is that second statement better than the first?
It's more specific.
Exactly. It's far more specific. What else?
The second one tells a story.
Yeah, it tells a story. It gives me a much more, a deeper picture, more accurate picture of how this student has volunteered, what she's done, what kind of people she's interacted with. It tells a story. I have a picture of this in my mind. What else? So something else that I like about it is the last part. So she's asking very large societal questions that maybe she doesn't know the answer to, but she's willing to continue considering those questions and apply them to her lives and the lives of other people. Next. During my junior year, I played first singles on the tennis team, served on the student council, maintained a B+ average, traveled to France, and worked at a cheese factory. Second, the better statement. I am proud to have maintained a B+ average during my junior year. This year I have chosen to become more active in work, volunteer, and extracurricular activities. This involvement has not only improved my personal life, but has helped me develop my time management skills. I now know that I can contribute to my community and maintain my high academic standing by prioritizing what is most important. So, why is the second statement better?
The second one shows his or her achievement and what he or she has learned from the junior year, not just listing like the one in the first essay.
Yes, and that is my biggest takeaway is this is a list. Again, this gives more insight. I can picture it a little bit better. It gives more detail and the lessons learned, which I think you touched on as well. So, any other comments?